up, everyone? It's Matt Martin with the Grass Factor. Today, wanted to do a video talking about one of the questions that I get asked, maybe not the most, but quite often. Came up again last night in the live stream, so let's talk a little bit about it. So one of the questions I get asked most often is it too late to seed? Is it the right time of year to seed? Can I seed now? Am I doing myself a favor by seeding now? Should I wait till later? So I want to give you the tips, the tricks, the science behind when the appropriate time to seed is, and let you in on the tools that I use to make those type of judgment calls. So again, the purpose of this video is when is the appropriate time to seed? So before we can decide when the appropriate time to seed is, it's important to understand what does seed require to germinate. And really that comes down to the actual variety of seed you're using. Even more importantly, the species of grass that you're attempting to grow. So let's dive into what exactly does a seed require to actually germinate. Generally speaking, grass types are going to require three things to actually germinate. It's going to require water, it's going to require oxygen, and it's going to require temperature. The variable in this is light. Is light necessary? Not 100%. Some light is necessary though, so you can't completely deprave it and expect it to make it very far. But that kind of comes more into seed versus seedlings. So light isn't as important during the germination process, hence why you can bury seed and still get it to come up. In terms of water, it's important that we keep the seed moist, not wet. And that kind of falls into why we need oxygen. So as the water permeates the seed coat and works its way into the actual seed itself, and the processes begin to happen inside the seed, seed elongation, cell elongation starts to take place. The seed is actually consuming oxygen, O2. The byproduct of this consumption of oxygen is actually CO2. So what happens here is seed is going to be required to take in air, and then seed is also going to be releasing air in the form of O2 and in the form of CO2. So the problem is if it's too wet, there's going to be, or too compacted soil, there's going to be a poor gas exchange where the seed cannot take in the oxygen and cannot release the CO2. Once the CO2 is released, that CO2 needs to get away from the seed, and that's not going to happen if there's too much moisture in the soil. Then the third, but probably one of the most important variables of this whole step is temperature. And what's important is that you know your precise soil temperature. And the way to calculate this is to measure it at 3 to 4 inches deep. There's a couple of different devices you can use. You can go buy a soil thermometer, stick it in the ground, check it. If you're cheap like me, you can use a meat thermometer that has a wide range that's relatively accurate. That is going to give you a pretty good reading and idea of what exactly your soil temperatures are. So once you have all three of these things, you then can have germination take place. Once it actually germinates, that's only half the battle. From that point, we actually are dealing with seedlings. And when you're trying to maintain the life of the seedlings, we need good seed to soil contact. This is when it's important that that root can begin to tack down into the actual soil itself, draw nutrients from it to support the life of the leaf tissue. This is also when light is going to be very, very, very important. And the reason being is that some of these plant hormones that take place are going to help in absorbing photosynthesis to begin to produce its own food. So think gibberellic acid. That's what's going to make a plant reach towards the light. And that's to maintain a healthy rate of photosynthesis and food production. Also, moisture. Seedlings are going to begin to utilize that moisture to ensure their success. So, now that we understand exactly how and why seeds germinate, what's required, and how the seedlings begin to thrive, let's figure out, where am I in my renovation process? Where am I in my seeding process? Is it really the right time of year for me to be seeding? So for someone like me that's, a turf manager by profession, what's important for me is that I have a general idea of what a wide-scale soil temperature is. I need to know that at all times because that's going to tell me a lot about what's taking place physiologically with the plants themselves, physiologically and biologically. As we start to move into that 55 degree plus soil temperature range, I know that the plant is going to be in peak condition. I know that microbial activity is going to be in peak condition. So, and then as we start to move into that 70, 75 degree range, I know that's going to begin to put stress on the plant because we're moving from a cool season to a warm season type environment. However, that's also going to be when our Bermuda grasses start to wake up. So it's very, very important to understand your soil temperatures, and I want to give you the tool I use to monitor soil temperature. Like I said, a good meat thermometer is a great way to check it, but again, make sure it's accurate and precise. The other way, there is a website. Syngenta actually has a website called greencastonline.com. And if you go to the lawn and landscape section of that website, one of the tools they feature is a general idea of what soil temperatures are like in your region. You can type in your zip code and it'll give you a key that's color coded and you can look at your actual soil temperatures. So that way, when it comes to actually seeding your lawn, take a look at your soil temperatures and know that there are general guidelines for your cool season grass types, your perennial ryegrass, your Kentucky bluegrass, your fescues. What you are looking for ideally is going to be 50 degrees plus soil temperature. 55 if you're playing it safe. Typically, the warmer it is, the faster it will germinate. However, if you're in that 80 degree range of your soil temps, it may actually begin to decline and slow down in germination rate. If you're going for a warm season grass type, so Bermuda grass, some of the newer hybrid zoysias, a centipede or I don't know if you can even get St. Augustine seed varieties, but centipede seed, what you're looking for is a 65 to 70 plus degree soil temperature range. It's going to be in those time periods, those temperature ranges that they can begin to succeed and thrive. So I want y'all to take this information, apply it to your day-to-day life. When you're asking yourself, is it too late to seed? Take a moment, check your soil temperature. Also, hop online, hop on greencastonline.com. It's free to use and it's put out by Syngenta. It's actually relatively accurate and it gives you a general idea of where you are in relation to everyone else in the country, and it also helps you make sure that you are on schedule for your aeration or slit seeding or renovation or whatever seed work you have to do. So anyway, y'all, I appreciate you watching. Just wanted to give you that tip. Y'all have a good one. Take care.